Yeah, you are welcome back to my channel. This is the sixth class of Python tutorial. Okay, Python class. This is the sixth class of it. In case if you are new, you can go through the description of this video, and there you receive a link of the previous classes from one to the class we are now. Okay, without wasting much of your time, we'll start from for loop. Remember, on our previous class, we treated on if statement, the while loop, and methods in Python. Okay, now today we'll start with for statements or for loop. You can call it for loop or for statement. Okay, now we use this for statement to iterate through a list, that is looping content in a list, looping a content, or looping maybe content stored in a list or in a string, looping them one after the other. Okay, now to define a for loop, we enter this function called for. Okay, then you state the name of what you want to loop through. Okay, first we need to, maybe let's say we have a variable called fruits, and this variable is a list of fruits. Okay, let's say orange, uh, apple, cherry, and maybe banana. Okay, we have four fruits, four items in this list. We have four items in this list. Now, normally, while numbering these items, we start from zero. Okay, we start from zero. This one should take the index of zero, and this should take the index of 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have four items, but it starts with zero. Python list starts counting with zero. In Python, we count from zero to the end. Okay, this takes the index of 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, normally while looking at it, we have four items in this list. Okay, and we want to iterate through these items. We want to iterate through them. We want to print, we want to list them. Okay, we may say for items in fruits. Okay, for item in fruits, you add column, then this word here, item, is just like a variable. It's just like a variable that will contain the data in fruits which has been iterated. That is, after the iteration, after listing them. Okay, it will be stored on items. You can access them within this for loop in items. Okay, this item serves like a variable that contains the data of this, and these fruits are the this variable that contains the list. Okay, that contains the list of fruits. So for each item in these fruits, we want to do something. Okay, now we may say print items. If I should run this, now you can see orange, apple, cherry, banana. Okay, it's printed this in y axis. Remember, we have y and s axis. It's printed this in y axis. But normally, if I should just print this normally, it should print, maybe print fruits. I'm printing fruits and I'm printing items. Okay, you can now see the first one printed it in a cereal. Okay, orange, apple, cherry, and banana, which is this. Okay, this is what the fruit printed, but the items printed this: orange, apple, cherry, and banana. So it rates, it lists them, it picks them one after the other according to the index number and lists them one by one. Okay, that is what we use for loop to do, to iterate through maybe a list or an array, something like that. Okay, we can it can also work like this. We have only one item in this list. Now what will happen if we run the iteration, if we run for loop on this, what will happen? Okay, now if I should run this, orange is stored on fruits, and here we are iterating through orange for items in fruits. Okay, now it's printed out just orange. Okay, now let me remove this from a list because the list makes it only one. Okay, now I remove the list and I'm printing just orange. Let's do it again. Check over here. Now you can see it has been printed in warehouses. Orange. Okay, Orange. It has been printed in that manner. Why the first one printed just orange? So the for loop iterates through a list or through an array or through a string to print out whatsoever that is stored in that variable. It prints it out sequentially how it should be according to the index number. Okay, that is how the for loop does. We can include the index number here, like, hope you can remember what we did here. Fruits equals to orange. Now we printed the fruits and it gives us just orange, and we say for items in fruits, print items, it gives us this. Okay, now these items here, it must not be items, it can be anything. I may say for I in fruit, print I. Now if I should run this, it gives the same result. Okay, it gives the same result. That is how it works. Now we can include the length of this while printing it. You may say for I in fruit, print I. Now comma, I will include len. Now it has numbered them with 6. Why? Let's count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that is why it's numbered them. There are uh, 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 six alphabets, 6 characters here. Okay, there are 6 characters. Remember, the counting will not start from 0 because it is not counting according to the index position. Rather, it is numbering how many characters, how many alphabets are there in the list, maybe in that array. How many alphabets are there? So while counting the alphabets, you won't start with 0 because the first alphabet is included. So you cannot include the first alphabet as 0. But while checking the index number starts with 0. So it prints 6 to show that there are just 6 alphabets that makes up that. I can say len I. Okay, let us run this. Then I give me 1 because I have only one item, one item, one item, one item, one item, one item. So that is how it works. Now the next step is range function in Python. Okay, the range function in Python. Now if you do need to iterate over a sequence of numbers, the built-in function range comes in handy. Okay, comes in handy. It generates arithmetic progressions. That is what the range function does in Python. Okay, if you need to iterate over a sequence of numbers, want to iterate over a sequence of number, that is when we use range function in Python. Okay, for instance, you can see this. You can see this here. For I in range 5, print I. Okay, okay, let's particularize that. For I, and remember, range is a function in Python, and to write a function in Python, you have to include this bracket, open and close bracket. Okay, for I in range maybe 5, print I. Now if I should run this, you can see here it's been 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 not included. Okay, it prints 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 not included. Remember, I told you while counting a number in Python, anything index number in Python, it starts with 0. It starts with 0. While the total number of what you are counting will be the same number. Like we have 5, we inputted 5 here. If you count this normally, just normally without your Python, it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see there are 5 numbers there. There are 5 numbers there. But while counting, it starts with 0, and the 5th sign was not included. 5 not included. But normally, if you count them from 1, there are 5 numbers here. But while Python counts, it counts with 0, and the 5th number not included. If it is range 10, it will be from 0 to 9, 10 not included. This word I here is just like a variable that saves or contains the value that has to do with this number. Okay, it saves on I, and when we print I, it prints all that was saved in it. It can be anything. It can be W. Just be sure that the number what you entered here is the same with what you are printing. Okay, for W in range 5, print W. Okay, it's the same thing. There's no difference. Okay, so we are still using the for loop. Okay, to loop through the range. We have what ranged from. We have 5 numbers, and we are using the for statement or for loop to loop through them and print them one after the other. Okay, that is what the for loop does in Python. And then the range number helps to range a number from 0 to the specific amount or the specific number you presented, but that's number not included. If it is 3, it will print 0, 1, 2, 3 not included. So that is how range works in Python. Now, doing more tasks on range, you can range from 5, maybe you can range from 5 to 10. Maybe you want the number to be up to 10. Remember, it will count from 0 and end at 9. And where do you want to start from? You can specify where you want to start from. Now, the first one here simply means where I want to start from. And the second one is the total number I want to end. Okay. Now, as you can see here on the result, it shows 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it starts from 5 as we specified that here, and then ended at 9. Remember, the 10th will not be included. So that is how range works more in Python. We can do it also here. I say 5 and 10. Now when I run this, you can see here it says 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10th not included. Okay, I can also give a comma here and put 3. Let's see if this will work. 5 and 8. What we are doing here is we are telling the range number to range from 5 to 10, but let it count in trace. But do not start from beginning. Start from the 5th to 10, but count in trace. Okay, now what this does, you can see the answer here. Once I run it, I get 5 and 8. Okay, remember we are starting from 5, and here is the 5 we started from, and then after 5 you add 3. I want you to count in threes. Now if you add 3, it will give you 8. 5 plus 3 will give you 8. Now once the 5 plus 3 once the 5 plus 3 will give you 8, we are heading to 10. Remember, 10 will not be included, so it will end at 9. Now after 8, you cannot add more 3 to get 9. So it was just only 1 you add to get 9. So no need to print 9 because it is not included. You cannot get 9 by adding 3 to 8. So it gives us only these two answers. Okay, we can turn this to 0. Let this count from 0 to 10, but let it be in threes. Okay, 3 times. Now from 0 you can see here it says 0, 3, 6, 9. Okay, 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. So that is how it works. I can change this to 20 to show you more. Okay, right here you can see 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. It is times by 3. Okay, to do, let me change this again to 2. You can now see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. He could have added another one to get, but if you add another 2, it will end at 20. While we specify 20 here, and 20 is not included, so it will end at 19. So 18 plus 2 will not give you 19, so it has to end at 19. Okay, so that is what range does in Python. We use range for that. That is what range does. And we can also include negative numbers by adding minus, minus, and minus. Okay, now it will also print out in negative. You can now see here minus 2, minus 4, minus 6, minus 6, minus 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. It is still counting on 2s. Okay, it is still times by 2. It is times by 2, but yet it includes the negative number. Okay, it includes the negative number. That is how it works. All right, now let us do more tasks on that. Let's do more tasks using range. Now we will include len. We included len to get the length of the data saved on A. Okay, now we set a variable called A, and we use the assignment operator to assign this list on it. Okay, a list of data here. We have Mary had a little lamb. Okay, Mary had a little lamb, and it was specified and assigned on A. So we use the comma separator in Python to separate each values. Okay, to separate them one by one. So once you have separated them, they have their index number. This has the index number of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, because you have separated them. So we have 5 items in this list. Among these 5 items, the index number starts with 0 and ended at 4, 5 not included. Okay, we use the for loop now to iterate through them. We say for I in range len A. Okay, now what this simply means is we use a for loop and set a variable called I and set in range. That is the range. Remember, range from a certain number. Okay, like what we did previously just now, we setted range 5. Okay, for I in range 5. So it prints 0, 1, 2, 3, and ended at 4. It ranges from 0 to the number you specified. If you specify 2 numbers, it ranges from the first number you provided to the second number you provided. Okay, if you specify 3 numbers, it ranges from the first number you provided and then to the second number you provided, but by the last number you provided. That is, if you provided like 0, 10, and 2, so it will be 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and no 9, because 9 plus 2, 8 plus 2 will not give you 9. So it ranges like that. So we use range to range from a certain number. Okay, right here we stated range len A. Okay, if we just put A here, it won't work. Okay, it gives us an error because A is not an integer, neither A is a number. A is not a number. Okay, so since A is not a number, it won't work. And to get the number of A, we use len. Remember, len is to get the length of the data in A. Now once I put len A, it counts the total number of data in A and store it here as a number. Now use range. By printing I, you print the length of A. Okay, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 will be stored here. Now for I in range 4, print I. Okay, let me remove this for the first. I'll add it back. Let's print this first. Can now see we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now this says for I in range len A. Len A simply means the total number of data stored in A. we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have four numbers stored in A, but we have five items stored in A. I can say for I in range 5. Let's run this. You can see we got the same answer. We got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So because we added 5 here, we can add the number here by checking the length of the variable, okay, by saying len A. Once I included len A, I have added 5 here. I have added 5 here because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, by normally when counting it is 5 items, but according to the index position it's 4 items. Okay, so we have passed in 5 items here. Now by printing I, we got the 5 items we have added in 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we want to perform other tasks by we want to print out the number and also print out the items. Okay, now we'll say A list I. Now what this does is that, remember, A is the variable that contains this. Okay, let's just print A. Now when we printed A, we got this in result. Remember, A is a variable that contains all this. A contains all this data in it. So when we print I and print A, we got the number of I and also get that of A. Okay, second index, we got the second index of I and also get the second on A. That is how it was, the I and the A. A contains all this data and all the data has been printed, and I contains one of the data. Okay, I contains all the data but on 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we printed the I and the A. Okay, the I number and the A. That is what happened here. Now we may want to print out only Mary, because Mary is the one that has the index 0, and we want to assign this so that when we see 0, we'll see Mary. Okay, when we see 1, we'll see hard. When we see 2, A should follow it. On 3, little should follow, and on 4, lamb should follow. So we want to place them according to their index number. Okay, now to do that, we will come back here on A and added list I. Now I contains the index number of each characters in A, of each words or values in A. Now Mary has the index number of 0 and it is stored on I. So A list I will first take the index number 0 and then print out only 0 on it. Okay, it will print out only 0 on it. We use this to get a value. Let us run this. As you can see, we now have 0 index Mary, 1 index hard, 2 A, little, 3 little, 4 lamb. So we printed the index number using I and got the values using A and then list I to get the values. Okay, to understand this more, we may set a variable again called A. Okay, we have set a variable called A and we have Mary had a little lamb stored in it. Okay, I may want to, once I print A, I'll got that's the answer I got. Mary had a little lamb. Okay, but what if I want to print out only Mary? I want to print out only Mary. Now that is when we use the list, and then remember Mary is in index 0 and we add 0 here. Once we print this, we get Mary. Okay, we may add 2. When we add 2, which one are we going to get? Not this. Okay, we're not going to get this, rather we got this. Okay, because it's 0, 1, 2. Okay, now once I run this, you can now see we got A. Okay, so that is how this works in Python. You can use the this sign to get out a value from there. I may say Z equals to A list 0 index, and say maybe Y assigned A, and then maybe 3 index. I may also say X assigned A with 4 index. Okay, now once I run this, okay, sorry, I have not printed that. We may print Z, Y, and then S. Let us print this. Now once I print this, we get Mary Little Lamb. Okay, because of the index positions. The first position 0 is Mary, the position 3 is Little, and then the position 4 is Lamb. Okay, you can see it here. That is how we get values using these signs. Okay, that is how to print out values using them. We can also print out a value by adding this column. Once I add this column simply means on A, print out everything. Okay, on A, print out everything. Now, once I run this, see what I got? I got this list, which is everything. I got the list. I got this list and also got Little Lamb because of the presence of Y and X. Okay, if I should remove Y and S and run this, oh, I have to remove this. I have Mary had a little lamb. Okay, Mary had a little lamb. This we are doing is called slicing in Python. Okay, this is slicing in Python. We slice out the value or how we want it to display. Now, once I added A, and then inside the list bracket, I add column. This means print out everything on the list. Okay, we may have, I may specify 1 here, and then once I run this, let's see what will be the value. Now see what we got here. We got had a little lamb. Okay, this index 1 simply means from index 1 start counting. Okay, from index 1 start counting. So from index 1, what we have here as index 1 is had. Mary is in the 0, so print out index 1 and then every other thing. Print out index 1 and every other thing. Remember, this column means everything at the back. This one means start from 1, then print every other thing at the back. That is why you got had a little lamb, but Mary not included. We may say 2 or maybe 3. Once I run it again, we got little lamb because we are printing from index 3, okay, which is 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we print the third one and the fourth one, little lamb. That's why we got this. Okay, now we can also specify from the back. We may say so let me try this. Mary had A, because at the back I specified third, and then we have 0, 1, 2, 3. Now, while printing from the back, the third one not included. Okay, the third one will not be included, and then like I said on the third index, I'll start from print from 0 but stop at the third index. That is what this means. Remember, this column means print everything. So we have no number specified at the beginning, which means print everything from the beginning but stop at index 3. But the number or the value at index 3 not included. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3. The third will not be included. So what we printed out is just Mary had A, and which was what we got here. Mary had A. So that is how we do with that. Now, once I add the negative sign here and then I printed this, it gives me Mary had. Okay. Now, this negative sign here tells Python to count from the back. Okay, it tells Python, hey Python, count from the back. So it's no longer going to count from here 0 1 2 3, rather it's going to count from the back. Okay, so it will be 0 1 2 3. So it prints this way, it prints from that front. Okay, and overlook others. Why it prints from their front is because we have specified on the beginning, we added no number here, so it prints everything from the front and then starts from -3, so it should count from the back. Okay, we can also specify a number here at the beginning, maybe 1 and 3. Now once I run this, it gives me hard A. Okay, what happens here, we said from the index 1 print to index 3. Now this is 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, and this is index 3. Remember, 3 not included. The number you are specifying not included. So it will print only this and this. For this is index 1 and this is 2. So 3 will not be included. So we'll print out hard A. We may include maybe 4. Okay, let's run this. Hard A little. Okay, from index 1 print up to index 4. 0 not included. 1, okay, start printing from here. It prints 1 2 3 4 not included, so it will print out this had a letter. So this is called slicing in Python. It's called slicing in Python. We use this to slice out values on a given variable. Okay, now back to what we are doing using the range function. Using the range function, we said for I in range brackets, then instead of specifying A, because A is not a number, so it won't count, because range does with just numbers. So we'll use len to get the length of A. We say for I in range len A. Okay, print I, comma, which is separator, and then A will slice out the value we want to print on A. Now, to slice out the value we want to print on A, we'll add I to it, because I contains the length of A from 0 to how many it is. So once we include I, it will add the number of I to every data that was looped. Okay, what if we added 0 to this? Remember, the index of 0 is Mary. Let's run this. Now here is our answer. Mary, 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 Mary. Okay, 0, Mary, 1, Mary, 2, Mary, 3, Mary, 4, Mary. Okay, because the for loop is iterating, is looping through the data, and as it is looping, it is only printing out Mary, because that is what we specify here. And we don't want to print out only Mary, we want to print out the values, okay, that has the index number. That is why we specify I, because I contains from 0 to the total number, which is here. We have 5 numbers, so which is from 0 to 4. I contains from 0 to 4 numbers. So once you said A, then you slice out I, it will print out, it contains 0 to 4. So once it prints 0 on the first iteration, it checks on A and prints out the first value on A, which is 0. Now it comes back here and prints out the second value, which is 1, and it numbers to A and prints out the next value that contains the index number of 1, and the next value that contains the index number of 1 is hard. Okay, now it comes back here and prints out the next number, which is 3, on the length 3. Then it now comes back here and check which one has the index number 3. It comes and check 1 2 3. Okay, 0 1 2 3, 3 not included, so it prints A as the one that has the index number of 3. Now it comes back. That is how it does. Okay, now if I should run this now, we have Mary had a little lamb. 0, Mary. 1 had, 2, a, 3, little, and 4, lamb. Okay, it it races through them and gives you the answer. Remember here we indented this block. You must indent it so it will act as a child to the for loop. Okay, if you do not indent this, it won't work. If I should run this now, it gives us an error. Okay, it gives us an indentation error because this should be indented. It should be like a child to the for loop. Okay, so once I have indented this, everything will now work perfectly. Next, we'll define a function. We'll learn how to define a function in Python. Okay, we use function to perform some tasks. We use function to store some data. Okay, maybe you are asked to create a specific app or maybe a banking app. Okay, you know, in banking app we have the app does a lot of things. It can check balance, it can check the transaction you've done, it can run transfer, it can also pay bills. Okay, now you can write a function that does each part and save them. You can write a function that checks balance. Okay, you can write a function that checks the transactions you have done. You can write a function that pay bills. Okay, so you specify them according to what they does. Okay, right there on the function that does transfer, all codes that are required for the transfer will be written and be stored in that function. And whenever you call the function, the codes will execute and the data right there will function, will start working. Okay, without calling the function, the code, even though the code is there for a long time, the code won't run because you have not called the function. After defining the function, for that to work, you must call the function for it to work perfectly. So you can use function. Function is very important. Do not skip this part. Function is very important in Python, for you cannot skip it. You must include it in your works. You must include it. Now to define a function, we enter the keyword called def, now followed by the function name. My function name may be car, the keyword called def, followed by the function name, and then followed by a parenthesis, followed by the round bracket. Now after the round bracket, column. Okay, now we have defined a function called car. Now what we have to do next is to write codes, about car, to start coding on things about car or anything at all. Now the next thing is to hit enter. Then right here, the most important thing here, you must give indentation. There must be an indentation after defining the function. There must be indentation, okay, for the function to work correctly. The indentation simply means you must give space, like four spaces, or just click on tab to give the indentation. Okay, right here I may say print. We have, okay, we are here. We are here for you. Then you may be coding, write some code. Maybe car types. That's the types of car we have. We have Volvo. We have Camry. We have Benz. And maybe Toyota. Okay, we have 4 different cars in our company, or maybe in the code we have 4 different cars. We have Volvo, Camry, Benz, and then Toyota. Benz, that is Mercedes. Okay, now we want to print car type. Okay, now I've written some code, and all this block of code I wrote, they are all indented, and once they are all indented, they must be stored. They are stored under, they are stored in the car. Okay, now this car stands, just looks like, just does like variable, like what variable does. Okay, but this is not a variable, it's a function. Now once I run this program, as you can see here, it runs and gives me no error, but nothing shows. Nothing shows here. Why? Because we have not called the function. You have to call the function in order to execute the block of code written there. Okay, now calling the function, you have to come down. Once you come down, you must give two spaces. Okay, the first one and the second one. There must be two spaces, 1 and 2. Then on the third one, you call the function. Now calling the function, you must not indent. Okay, like when I say car, you must not indent. This is the function name. Calling the function, you have to type the function name and it will execute. But as you can see here, I indented this. There's an indentation which is not supported when calling the function. If I should print this, nothing is still showing here. Okay, because it's not seeing as if I have called the function. What I have to do is to take this thing to the back. Okay, once I take it to the back and run the program once more, now it shows the answer. Say, we are here for you, Volvo, Camry, Benz, and Toyota. Now the codes we wrote has been executed. Why I say you must give two spaces. If I should remove maybe one of the spaces, as you can see here, there's a yellow line under here, okay, which shows that I'm not doing the best thing I'm supposed to do, but it will work. There's no error with that. You can see it brings out the same answer. It still work. But now that's not the clear task on how Python wants you to do that, because you have a lot of code to type. You have a lot of code. After defining the function called car, you may like to define another function, maybe that has to do with Volvo. Okay, and right here you write a lot of code you wish. Okay, now if you didn't give space, like normally you take this thing back here without space, it will jam pack your codes and your code will not look neat. So PyCharm does not support that. PyCharm wants your code to be neat. That is why it's showing you this yellow line telling you, hey bro, give like two spaces here. Hey bro, give like two spaces here before you call the next function. Okay, after defining the function, give two spaces to call the function. If you want to define another function or you want to add another code, you have to give another two space. Okay, make some space for it, then you define another function. Now I have called the function, and once I run it, it executes the block of code. I can still do more tasks here, like trying to print out one data from this. I can say Z. Okay, right now I don't want to print all the cars. I may let the user enter what they want. Maybe user is equals to our sign an input function, and let the user select the car. Select a car. Now remember, I've told you guys about backstroke n. Okay, backstroke n takes you to a new line. Now I'll print car type. Okay, this will print the cars and also include this. I think I should let me do this in a new line. New line. Okay, we are trying to let the user select a car among the car list. Okay, select a car by entering by entering maybe the car name. Select a car by entering the car name. Let's set a variable user choice. user choice equals to user wants to check what the user entered, like we turn this to integer. We'll take the index number. We take the index number of what the user will enter. We take the index number, like we turn this to int. Remember, int is an integer. You typecast whatsoever the user enters into an integer. We want the user to enter the index number. So select a car by entering maybe the car number. Okay, here we may number the car and say this is 1. No, this should be 0. Okay, by entering the car number, we change it into an integer. Now we set the user's choice to be, this is the user. Want to print car type and then list. Okay, car type, on car type, which is the variable that contains this, we want to print out the user's choice. Okay, now say print user's choice. Let's run this. Hope it will work. Select a car by entering the car number. Maybe here the list of cars: 0 Volvo, 1 Camry, 2 Benz, 3 Toyota. Maybe I want Benz. I set number 2 and I hit enter. It says Benz. Okay, it prints out what I selected. Okay, now what's happened here is that here is where everything happened. We have a car type, okay, a variable named car type that has a list of cars, okay, that has a list of cars. Now here, remember what we learned on the previously now about slicing in Python. Now what does here is that we use the user's input to specify as a number. Remember, if I enter 1 here, it will print the index 1. Okay, this is 0, this is index 1. It will print the index 1 and save it on user's choice. Okay, and we don't know the user's input, so we use user to choose, to make a choose. Okay, we use user, which is this, the user's input. If the user enters 1, so 1 will be stored here. If the user enters 2, 2 will be here, and once 2 is here, simply means car type and square bracket 2, and the value will be stored on user's choice. And when we print user's choice, it will print out the car the user have selected. So that is how that works. You can also do this more robustic by saying maybe you have chosen. Okay, now once I run this, it asks me to select a car. Maybe I select the car with the index number 0, which is Volvo. If I should hit enter, it says you have choose Volvo. Okay, so but if I should remove this car here, that is where I called it and run the program, nothing will happen. Okay, nothing happens because you have not called the program. So the first thing is to define the function, then include any code you want the function to, how you want the function to work. Just like when you're writing a code, just write your code. After writing your code, you call the function by typing in the function name with the bracket, and it will work perfectly and give you the right answer. Okay, now there is what we call parameters. Okay, that's what we call parameters and arguments in function. Now once we said def cars, we may, okay, I can change this to roots. Then parameter, I may say name. Okay, and here we'll continue by writing other codes. You may say something like s is equals to, and we have list of fruits. Here are our list of fruits. Now we'll set an argument for this. This here is a parameter, and we have a list of fruits. We have printed the list of fruits, and let us also print this. Okay, I would like to include this in a new line. Now if we should call this function, remember, by typing the name of the function, you call the function. Like when I was calling this function, let's type this again. As you can see, here is the name of the function, and it shows me that a name should be inputted here. Okay, it says a name should be inputted there when calling the function. If I should run this, I have called the function, but it won't work. Okay, it raised an error, type error. Fruit missing one required positional argument means I have to present an argument for this to work, because I have added a parameter. Once I've added a parameter, you must add an argument here, okay, while calling the function. I may add more codes, like letting the user choose the fruits they want. Let me say z assigned x, then slice name, or let me change this to, okay, let me change this to number. It doesn't matter, it's just a parameter, just like a variable. It doesn't matter. Okay, now s slice number, whatever we entered will be sliced and will printed out. Okay, now once I call the function, it raised an error because it is replacing an argument, because after adding a parameter you have to add an argument. Okay, right here I have to specify my argument. My argument, I want it to be 1, maybe 1 here. Let's print it out. Print z. Now once I run this, you can now see here are the list of fruits: orange, apple, cherry, and here it gives me apple, because I used one as my argument. Okay, as my argument, and here I setted it that once I enter the number, print out the value, print out the fruit that has the index number. I may change this to 3. We don't have up to 3. Okay, 0, 1, 2, we have only 2. I may change it to 2, and the same thing, it works, cherry. Okay, now I don't want to waste much of your time here. Check somewhere above, you will see a link where I have made a special video about function. Okay, where I have made a special video about function. Click on the link above, so you will learn more about function, both nested function and some other ones. Okay, just click on the link above or go to my description. You will see a link on functions in Python. Just click there to learn more about function. All right, thank you guys. I think my class is ending now. I don't want the video to be so long. My class is ending now. We'll continue on our next class, Python for beginners, or Python tutorial step 7. Okay, this is the step 6. Step 7 will be the next class. Okay, by the time you're watching this video, I might have made step 7, because I do upload them weekly. Every week I'll upload 2 classes about Python every week, 2 different classes. Okay, if you have not watched other classes, you can go through the description and then click the links to watch and learn from other classes. Thank you guys, and see you on my next